and gentlemen, boys and girls, hey, what is up guys? Hornets Fan 13 here, and I have returned from a very, very long hiatus. I apologize for that. I have just been so busy with work and school and work and everything else that I haven't been able to cover much of this announcement season, so I'm terribly sorry for that. However, I'm back, and I'm here to cover everything coming to Halloween Horror Nights in 2019 at Universal Studios in Hollywood. 10 mazes, 5 scare zones, 2 roaming hordes, and 1 show. Let's get into it. Just gonna jump right in. We're gonna start off with our first maze. This is gonna be located in the Waterworld Queue, same place where Halloween 4 was last year. This is Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are about to enter a world of darkness. A world where life and death are meaningless.
From the Rugsville, Texas roadside oddity, Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Madmen, to the home of the psychotic Firefly family, Rob Zombie's epic horror masterpiece comes to life. Scream all you want, but you won't find any mercy from the Fireflies, as each family member is more sadistic than the next. It's a never-ending nightmare of blood and gore as they lunge at you from every filthy corner of their decrepit house with rusty implements of horror. Nobody's coming to save you. After all, what's one more corpse when there are 1,000 others inside? This is based off of his movie. It will not include scenes from Devil's Rejects or 3 from Hell. This maze was featured back in 2010 and 2011. I never got to experience it, so I'm definitely excited to be able to experience House of a Thousand Corpses this year. Now we will move on to our next maze. I'm not going to read the whole thing for our next maze because the next maze is something that's been there for 2016, 17, 18, and 19. This is its 4th year of existence, and it needs to go away soon. This is Universal Boulevard, very own The Walking Dead attraction. Yeah, it's open during HHN. Go to it, or not. I don't care. Up next is going to be the Parisian Courtyard Maze, and this is Holidays in Hell. Supposed to be a time with friends, family, and loved ones, the holidays have quite literally gone to hell. The terrors are far from limited to just Halloween. Prepare yourself for a sadistic experience involving a trip through a series of psychotic seasonal celebrations. Your creepy crawl through this year's calendar is a true 365-day nightmare. After all, in our own world, the scarier, the merrier. So this is going to be located where Universal Monsters was last year. It's based off of the Metro Set's Gauntlet Scare Zone from last year. I'm very excited for this one. It will also include music by Figure, who's a dubstep artist and has provided music for the event in many, many years. I think it's been 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, his 6th year providing music for the event. I'm super excited for Holidays in Hell. It's an original maze. We haven't had one of those in a long time. It's going to be awesome. So, up next are 2 new venues, and first I should say a word of farewell to the Terror Tram. Goodbye. Yes, the Terror Tram is gone. If you didn't know that already, now you know the Terror Tram has gone bye-bye, and now we have 2 mazes located at the Tram Garage instead of the Terror Tram. A fairly good trade if you ask me. So the first maze that we will approach is an IP, the second maze is an original. The first maze that we will approach is Jordan Peele's Us.
Creep on in, on in, on in.
Jordan Peele's new original nightmare comes to life when you follow the footsteps of the Wilson family as they face the ultimate opponent, themselves. You'll freeze in terror and disbelief as you are hunted at every frightening turn by murderous doppelgangers, terrifying doubles of every American known as the Tethered, having languished for generations throughout thousands of miles of abandoned underground tunnels. These human copies have organized, surfaced, and staged an uprising. You can run and you can hide, but you cannot escape the tethered version of yourself. So, I love this movie. I am super excited for this maze. Definitely think it might play out more as a slasher maze rather than Us, where you kind of sat there and thought, what if I have a doppelganger? Because I don't think they can hire doppelgangers for every single person who comes and visits the event. However, this is definitely high on my list. I think the locations are perfect, especially, Vision Quest and Merlin's Forest, places like that. Super exciting. Definitely an exciting maze. Up next is going to be another original maze for this year. It is going to be The Curse of Pandora's Box.
Anything can be acquired. Anything your heart desires. Come inside.
Some things are never meant to be opened. Sadly for you, someone already has. Uh-oh. Unleashing unimaginable evil. Welcome to the Curse of Pandora's Box, the living nightmare netherworld of Hades, populated by the most fearsome monsters in Greek mythology. Prepare for a trip through hell, where the demonic temptress Pandora serves as your guide. Once the box is open and evil has been released, it can never be closed again. So this is going to be another original maze of ours. It's going to start out in an antique shop. We're going to be lured inside of Pandora's Box, and then the aesthetic of the maze is going to shift to a much more, say, UV black light environment. It is not going to be 3D. A lot of people were very concerned that this maze was going to be in 3D when it was announced, and when John said that there was some blacklight aesthetic to it. However, no 3D. We're all good there. It's going to be a much more darker aesthetic maze. We're going to see characters from the Greek underworld. Definitely something to look forward to. Up next, in the Revenge of the Mummy queue, same place where Trick or Treat was last year, and the maze that matched the theory that I had. So, if you don't know about this theory, this is what's called the trick or treatment theory, according to people over in Orlando. What happens is they have a popular, or not popular IP as a scare zone one year. 2017 they had Trick or Treat. The following year, both coasts get it as a maze once it is proved that it is popular, just like Trick or Treat was last year. It was a very popular maze based on the scare zone that Orlando did. They brought the movie back into relevancy and then split it to the coast as a maze. They did the same thing with Killer Clowns from Outer Space last year. They had it as a scare zone, and now this year it splits off to both coasts as a maze. So, this maze, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. If ever there was a reason why people are afraid of clowns, this is it. Killer Clowns from Outer Space have landed, and there's nothing funny about these strange creatures who use side-splitting antics and weird alien technology to devour their victims. Don't let them encase you in one of their pink cotton candy cocoons, or you could end up as a gooey snack. One gag is ghastlier than the next, as they have you shrieking from clown to clown like some twisted three-ring circus. These killer clowns won't make you scream with laughter. Just scream. So I love this movie. This movie is awesome. I'm super excited to go through this maze and see the very large clowns, the awesome makeup of the clowns. The sets just look goofy, ridiculous, horror, 80s B-movie heaven. And the music of this maze is really what makes it special. John Massari's score for this maze I think it's going to be super exciting. He's not writing an original score for the maze. They are using, I believe, his reimagined score of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which in itself is awesome. I've been listening to it pretty much on repeat ever since this maze has been announced. And actually, just kind of a funny little connection, John Massari subscribed to my YouTube channel. That's pretty freaking cool if you ask me. So, up next on the lower lot in Soundstage 29, same thing that was there last year, just different season, Netflix's Stranger Things. Even further into the chilling world of the Upside Down as Netflix's Stranger Things returns to Halloween Horror Nights in an all-new maze. Back in Hawkins, Indiana, a shadowy new evil threatens to envelope the whole town. Experience the most terrifying moments of Season 2 and 3 as you come face to face with the shadowy Mind Flayer and its army of creatures that wreak havoc in Hawkins. Brace yourself again for the goosebumping-inducing world that awaits. Alright, so Stranger Things, Season 2 and 3 are going to be featured in this year's maze. It is mostly Season 2 with a little tagline on for Season 3 at the end. Season 2 definitely lends itself to a maze a lot better than Season 1 did. However, I'm still definitely going to be concerned that it'll end up just like last year's maze, where it was not the best, wasn't the worst, but it could have been a lot better. I'm really hopeful for this year, though. I think the Demodogs are the perfect scare environment, or the perfect way to scare people, and I think the environments are perfect, like the upside down tunnels, the pumpkin patch. What else where do we go in Season 2? The lab. It's been a while since I've watched Season 2. No, we don't go to the lab. The lab is Season 3. No, that's the underground secret Russian base. The cabin, Hopper's cabin, we go there. Wait, no, we do go to the Hawkins lab. I forgot about that. Like I said, it's been a really long time since I watched Season 2. I need to rewatch it. It's actually, there's a Stranger Things little screensaver on my Netflix right over there because I stopped watching Netflix to do this. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited for Stranger Things, and I think this year's maze could definitely top last year's maze. Up next in the Metro sets is going to be the sequel to the highest rated maze of last year, Universal Monsters, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Despite what your parents told you at bedtime, monsters are real, and they never die. Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the two most iconic Universal monsters of all time, are back and ready to deliver an unforgettable and horrifying new live experience. With Frankenstein on the loose, he wanders into the woods where he finds himself face to face with the Wolfman in unwelcome territory. In the middle of a cemetery, the two monsters go neck and neck in a bloodbath battle. The monsters are back and terrifying as ever. This maze is a direct sequel to last year's Universal Monsters maze. It takes place right after, as John said, Frankenstein blew Castle Frankenstein to hell in the We Belong Dead scene. You know, he pulls the switch and then big kaboom. So we're going to follow Frankenstein to a gypsy camp, and guess who's there? The Wolfman. Who would have thought? What a coincidence. And then they're going to try to kill each other. I'm very, very, very excited for this maze. I think the best part about this maze, not only is that they are just continuing the Universal Monsters legacy, Slash is back. That is probably the best information I could have gotten about this maze. When I heard that Universal Monsters was coming back in the form of Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, I was like, oh, there's no mention of Slash in this announcement. I don't know how I'm going to feel about a Monsters maze without Slash, because his music was just it was perfect for the maze last year. And then at the end of an article it said, Slash will be returning to score the maze. Now in media previews, John has said that Slash has written some new music, and they are also using unused pieces of music that was written for last year's maze. God, I'm so excited for this one. This is easily my number one on the list. Sorry to spoil it, not like anyone was really looking forward to hearing my anticipation. So I'm very, very, very excited for Universal Monsters Frankenstein Meets a Wolfman. Now moving on, outside of Soundstage 747, I hope you're not afraid of any ghosts, but if you are, who are you gonna call? Wow, that was really, really bad. That was so dumb. But if you don't get what I'm saying, and if you've just been, living in a cave under a rock in the dark with no internet for many, many months, you would not know that Ghostbusters is coming to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. That's right, Ghostbusters. That's who you're gonna call. Ain't afraid of ghosts, you say? That is until you've experienced the all-new Rift Between Worlds, releasing apparitions of all shapes and sizes. Enter with caution as you navigate through a deserted and dimly lit, you'll see why I said dimly lit New York, after paranormal activity has engulfed the city, from the voracious Slimer to ghosts encapsulating the minds of the innocent. You'll catch yourself thinking twice if you become their next victim. While the Ghostbusters have continuously saved the day with the help of their proton packs, this time those who enter may not be so lucky. So that's it, the Ghostbusters. It is a horror comedy maze. They are definitely going to be throwing in some scares in there. Don't go in there expecting to laugh all the time. I say definitely expect some laughs. I am a little worried about this maze though, because they haven't quite nailed horror comedy over in Hollywood, unfortunately. Examples, This Is the End and Ash vs. Evil Dead. Two of the worst mazes I have ever experienced at the event. I have hope for this one though. All of the behind the scenes media preview stuff that we've seen, this maze just looks amazing. You're gonna enter through the firehouse, you'll see the Ecto-1, you'll see Janine, you'll go inside of the ghost containment unit where there's gonna be some blacklight tricks, you'll see Slimer, you'll see the librarian ghost, the terror dogs, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's got everything. I am super, super excited for this maze. I really, really hope it delivers and becomes one of the greatest mazes of all time at Halloween Horror Nights. Now our final maze of the batch, Route 666, where From Dusk Till Dawn was, American Horror Story, and Horrors of Blumhouse Chapter 2, Creepshow.
Hi, it's John Murdy of Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood, and today we have an exciting maze announcement. We're bringing Creepshow to life. What's really exciting about this is that we get to tap into the original 1982 film directed by George Romero, but we also get to tap into the brand new series on Shudder that's coming out this fall and bring some stories to life from that series as well. So all of us at Halloween Horror Nights are thrilled to be bringing Creepshow to life. It's going to be the most fun you ever have being scared.
There are things in the corners of this world. They'll drive you insane.
Not only will this be based off of the original 1982 film, it will include the new Greg Nicotero TV show, 3 parts from the old movie and 2 parts from the new TV show. Experience a horror comic book come to life. Your host for this terrifying journey is the Creep, a skeletal namesake of the Creepshow comic book, who will lead you through 5 jolting tales of horror inspired by the classic 1982 horror anthology and the upcoming Shudder series from horror legend Greg Nicotero. It's the most fun you'll ever have being scared. Now, I'm super excited for this maze. I was not initially excited when I had gotten word that this would be coming to the event. However, the more that I heard about it, especially through watching John's Midsummer Screen panel, the more excited I got, because the comic book aesthetic, it sounds like they're really trying to minimize, the blank, empty hallways and give us something new. I think these comic books, based off of media previews as well, the comic book aesthetic is definitely the substitute for the black hallways. They're just posters in the hallways where there's like black surrounding them, and there will still probably be boo holes in there. However, the boo holes I think will have new lighting tricks, but I really think they're trying to minimize the amount of blank, empty hallways that we walk through and really give us just a super, super high quality year that we have been chasing ever since 2016, and I think this year has the potential to beat 2016. I know I might be crazy for saying that, but I really think this year has the potential to beat 2016. Now that we've gone through the mazes, I would like to go through these scare zones and talk about these. So the first one we'll encounter when we enter the park is called Fallen Angels. Explore crypts packed with restless ghouls and escape angry skeletons that have taken over Main Street. If you think the aged statues are creepy, wait until you encounter the Wraith, who will be literally watching over you. You can also spread your own demonic wings while you're here, but be sure not to antagonize the Angel of Death. This one sounds pretty exciting. I'm super excited for this maze. This is our chainsaw, or not maze, this is our chainsaw scare zone. This is where all the rooms are going to be right up at the start of the park. And then as we make our way through this scare zone, once we get up to the New York section of the park, so past Universal Boulevard, we will encounter our second scare zone, and this is Spirits and Demons of the East. Sacred antiques have just been shipped over from the Far East, and they didn't come alone. Many of these artifacts were stolen from ancient temples and carry angry spirits with them. Now the spirits roam New York Street, looking to exact revenge on anyone who would dare steal such sacred relics. I went to say sacred relics and I said relics. Be careful out there. These powerful demons can look like anything, even innocent school children. This is easily my most anticipated scare zone. The characters that John has shown us just look amazing. The theme sounds incredible, and I really hope that this could potentially lead to an Asian-inspired original maze in the future. Up next, this scare zone can only be accessed by exiting the Holidays in Hell maze. This is going to be Christmas in Hell. You'll feel a faint sense of relief as you exit the Holidays in Hell maze, but it won't last long. Navigate through Christmas trees littering French Street and make your way through our twisted takes on many holiday traditions. A giant nutcracker may be looking for a skull or two to clamp down on. At least he's not clamping down on nuts. The Winter Witch and Jack Frost himself will be celebrating as well, and they may not take too kindly to you interrupting their festivities. And just when you think it's over, beware of the New Year's baby. He's cranky. So like I said, this maze can only be accessed by exiting the Holidays in Hell maze, and it's going to be just a run through a French street. It sounds super exciting, but also it sounds like a repeat of Dark Christmas with a few new characters thrown in, which I don't mind. I don't mind them recycling some costumes and characters and masks and stuff like that, because it saves budget to allow for some bigger and grander things in other scare zones. Up next is going to be on our walk to the back lot, way, way far away from French Street, is Toxic Tunnel. This time it's got 3 X's, so TOXXIC. Yes, if you wish to experience the mazes on our Metro sets, you'll have to get through the tunnel once again. It's like they know that we just don't like the tunnel. This time, the warped and cartoonish members of a demonic custom car club have taken over, and they don't plan on letting you get very far on foot. It's the tunnel. However, it sounds like they're trying to do something new with it rather than just kind of reusing the same characters from 2017 like they did with last year's one. It's still the tunnel. And now our final set scare zone, not including our roaming hordes. This one is called All Hallows Evil. Halloween isn't the only holiday that happens this time of year. The Celtic festival of Hop Tuna is celebrated on October 31st as well. There's also All Saints Day, followed by All Souls Day, and of course Mexico's Dia de los Muertos, all of which share the season with the centuries-old Gaelic festival of Samhain. Samhain celebrates our transition into the darker months of the year at the end of the harvest season. The souls of the dead are thought to return home on this night and are welcomed with costumes and bonfires. Some say the costumes were actually intended to protect ourselves from these otherworldly beings. Here's hoping they're relatively peaceful during your visit. They will not be peaceful, spoiler alert, just a guess. That's okay, I'm fine with them not being peaceful. So those are all of our set scare zones. Now we have one other thing to cover. They are our roaming chainsaw troops. These are roaming hordes, kind of what Orlando has definitely done these a lot in the past. However, Hollywood never really did them until closing weekend of last year. They were brought into play, and they were able to just kind of roam the park. I believe they went to like the metro sets in the lower lot and the upper lot. So where they have said that they're going to go, I believe is like on the upper lot, but like Studio Center, so kind of across from the exit of Wizarding World up to like the Simpsons, probably down on the lower lot because that spot is usually pretty empty, and then maybe on the back lot as well once you're done in the All Hallows Evil scare zone. We don't know too much about them. We know that they'll be wearing some old Ben Cooper style Halloween masks. That's pretty exciting. I'm just excited that there will be pretty much no dead spots during the event. So these roaming chainsaw troops are definitely a welcome addition to the event, and of course, the final edition, HHN would not be complete without a show. That show being, for the 5th year in a row, the Jabbawockeez. No surprise there that they've returned. Everyone knows that they would have come back, but that's fine. So, now that everything has been talked about, I'll give you my anticipation list. So we'll start with scare zones and then we'll make our way into the mazes. Top 5 scare zones. Holding up 5 weird because I've got a pen, but our top 5 scare zones. Number 5, Toxic Tunnel. It's a tunnel. No explanation further. Number 4, Christmas in Hell. Once again, I said it sounds like recycling people. I know that it doesn't really bother me that much. However, I'm just more excited for bigger and bolder things coming to the event. Number 3, Christmas in Hell, that was number 4. Number 3, Fallen Angels. I don't know too much about this one, so I'm definitely excited to see, kind of what mystery lies ahead in this first zone that we encountered. Number 2 is going to be All Hallows Evil. I love the gauntlet idea, and I'm super excited for this one, but number 1, like I said, Spirits and Demons of the East. Without a doubt, just the aesthetic of the characters in this maze seemed like it, or not in the maze, in the scare zone, just seemed like it's going to be amazing. Now we'll get to anticipation of the mazes. We're only going to rank 9 out of them. We don't want to rank the Walking Dead attraction because it doesn't really matter to me, honestly, because I'm probably not going to do it. So, number 9 is Jordan Peele's Us. Now, this is a lot lower than some people might have expected because I did love this movie. However, I'm still super excited for this maze. I am super excited for every single maze coming to the event. Some things are just a % or 2 higher than the other ones. So Us is going to be at the bottom of my list. Up next is Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses. I'm excited. It definitely is exciting to see that they're going to focus on the grittier aesthetic of the film. However, I'm just not as excited for it as other things. Number 7 is Stranger Things. I'm excited, but I'm also a little worried. But I definitely think it could be an amazing maze for this year. Number 6, Killer Clowns. I love the clowns. No secret, I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And I think that this is going to be an awesome maze. However, I'm just more excited for other things. Number 5 is Creepshow. I wasn't too excited, like I said initially. However, the comic book aesthetic of the maze and everything that they chose to include, Father's Day, the crate, they're creeping up on you, Gray Matter, I think is what it's called, or something like that, and Bad Wolf Down, those 5 sections just sound amazing. The comic book aesthetic sounds like it's going to make for a super fun maze. Number 4, Holidays in Hell. Once again, it's going to be tons of fun, probably super scary. I like the vintage postcard aesthetic that they're going for the maze. I loved the zone last year. I think it was full of some great scares, great sets. It's going to be awesome, and I am very excited to hear what Figure has cooked up for this maze. Number 3 and number 2 are kind of interchangeable because I'm pretty much tied for those ones. It's going to be Ghostbusters and The Curse of Pandora's Box. I am excited for both of those. I'm a little worried because I don't know much how they're going to pull off Pandora's Box. And Ghostbusters, I think it could, have some, bad parts to it just because they haven't really nailed horror comedy. But I think Ghostbusters, third time's the charm. I think this might be the charm. And I think Ghostbusters is going to be awesome. I'm always going to be a little worried for everything going into the event. There's always something inside of me that is excited but always going to have a little bit of worry. But I think we'll be good for this year. And my number one most anticipated maze is going to be Universal Monsters Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. Not a shock there. I love the Universal Monsters. I love Slash. I think this maze is going to be amazing. So there you have it. That is everything for Halloween Horror Nights 2019. Thank you all for watching. Take care.